Please welcome to the stage, delivering his talk, Cloud Labor, Mr. Russ Hammond.
Ladies and gentlemen, cloud labor is a form of crowdsourcing. Now, this is a pretty new technology and a pretty new term that has emerged in the past couple of years. And I find the easiest way to understand it is to know the different types of crowdsourcing to put it in context. So the first thing that you have is Kickstarter, a crowdfunding platform. We all know this by sponsoring films and bands and different projects helping artists get things off the ground. Then you have Wikipedia, a distributed knowledge platform that has helped myself and many other college students get papers done at the very last minute. You have an open innovation network like XPRIZE that offered $1 million for the first company that can launch a rocket into space and recover it on a single trip. And you have crowd creative platforms like 99 Designs, which allow you to do logo design and different creative work on a dime. The last category is cloud labor, and that's the reason I'm up here tonight. And there's two subcategories. You have virtual labor pools known by Odesk and Elance, and these are freelancers all over the world you can hire to do things. My personal favorite of all these platforms is one called Fiverr.com. This is a marketplace that you can hire people to do things for $5, like custom make a fortune cookie message for you. The other subcategory of cloud labor is what's known as microtask, and that's what I really want to focus on for the rest of tonight. And these are tasks that usually only take 5 to 10 seconds, and they would normally be done by a computer and be automated, except that they still require some form of human subjectivity to perform. A computer just cannot do certain things. It can't write prose. It cannot categorize things the way that you and I can. It cannot categorize things and moderate content on different social media outlets. So that's why some of these technologies have emerged, because you and I are still, luckily, smarter than computers in certain ways. So, for example, say the Smithsonian has a catalog of 100,000 images, and this one comes in, and they can pick out, a computer can see there's some writing there, but it doesn't know that that's a handsome corgi sitting up front with a spatula and mustard and sitting in front of a grill. They would have to send that to someone else, a human, to figure out what exactly is going on in that picture. Now, who is doing this categorization and these tagging of these photos? Well, studies have shown us about half of the people have a college education or greater, and a vast majority of them are 18 to 40 years old. Now, no, not all of them live in India, although about a third of them do. The vast majority of them live in North America and Europe. Now, and this is where it gets interesting. Who is actually hiring these microtask workers to do these little 5 and 10 second tasks? And it's actually the nuts and bolts of this that really makes this interesting. So normally you have a human that asks a computer to do something. Well, in microtask and cloud labor, we're actually flipping that equation. And it's actually a computer often that is asking a human to do a task for them. Now, in our Smithsonian example, let's say, again, 100,000 images come into their database. They can process certain pieces of what is in there. But there's a lot of images and a lot of things in there, they're just not going to know what is going on. So one by one, they'll kick these images out to these crowd labor platforms, these microtask workers, they'll get them done, they'll pay them a penny or two, and then these individuals automatically will send them right back into the database, and now the Smithsonian has a database that is categorized. So no, you're not working for some evil overlord or Hal, but you're working for other organizations ultimately. Now, you don't have to have a slew of computer programmers to access these types of workers. There are platforms like Amazon's Mechanical Turk and Crowdflower that exist for you and I to use templates that are ready-made to go and use these crowd and these click workers. So, okay, who cares? Why does this matter? So let's take, again, this photo tagging example, and let's say you have someone that you pay minimum wage. Roughly, they can get through about 240 pictures in an hour. This is assuming they don't take any breaks or are perfectly efficient. Now, that same 240 pictures we could feed to these microtask workers and get done for a little bit less than it would cost to pay someone minimum wage. Not that big of a difference, but let's look at this when we expand it out to 100,000 images. Yes, we do certainly save some money, but the significant savings comes in time, because the crowd doesn't take a smoke break, they don't take weekends, they don't leave at home to go home at the end of the day. They are constantly working on your task, and in fact, not just one person at a time, but you could actually have tens or if not hundreds of thousands of people working on your task at any given time. And not only that, they are actually focused on your task and you're getting the best of them while they're doing it, because they're only doing these tasks for 15 to 20 minutes at a time. And when they get bored, they stop doing them. Now, there's very few businesses that have built their own platform based on this labor pool. It's usually, right now, mostly used for seasonal adjustments at holiday season or tax season as large amounts of work come in. But I want to leave you with one thought. In the time that I've been up here, if you had $100 to spend on these click workers, you could have had 4,000 tasks done. Now, if you don't think that's going to completely change how work gets done in the future, I don't know what to tell you. Thank you very much.